everyone, and welcome to our Connect with Counsel videos. My name is Elizabeth. I'm with the San Diego County Bar's Lawyer Referral Service. And today's topic is personal injury. We are happy to have Mr. Kohn here. I'll let him introduce himself, but I'll pass it on to Michelle first.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Chavez. I'm the Director of Public Services here at the San Diego County Bar. And like Liz says, we're going to talk about some personal injury issues. And I'm going to pass it on to Mr. Russell Cohen to introduce himself.
Well, hello, everybody, and thanks for having me on the program today, especially having to do with personal injury. It's a topic that's near and dear to me. That's all I've been doing for most of my career, and I've been practicing law now for 39 years, 30 of which have been in my own office in this building behind me, here in Oceanside, California, practicing personal injury law.
Wonderful. So I'm going to jump into our first question. And this is the question we get all the time. The million-dollar question is, how do I know if I have a case? When do we know when it's best to speak to a lawyer? And what are some helpful details I should have when I contact an attorney?
Good questions. Most of the time, it's free to consult with a personal injury attorney to learn your legal rights. So it's always important, if you have an injury, to contact an attorney and get your free consultation, learn what your legal rights are, and the attorney can tell you whether or not you have a case, what it's worth. A lot of attorneys have different opinions about that, so you might want to check with more than just one attorney. But you want to check the attorney's credentials that you're talking about before you meet with them, and make sure that they don't have any bar discipline or things like that. But the attorney is going to fill you in. The attorney is going to want to see what your case is all about. If you have a police report, you should bring that into the consultation. If you have medical records, that would help. You don't have to gather them, though, before the initial consultation. The attorney just wants to know what your injuries were and what your treatment has been, so that the attorney can figure out what your legal options are, whether it's best for you to have an attorney in the case or handle it on your own and maybe go to small claims court.
And what are some common types of personal injury cases like you handle?
Well, we handle run-of-the-mill personal injury cases. We handle auto accidents. That's a majority of our practice. We handle slip and trip and fall cases. And we handle dog bite cases and some product liability cases. We do not do the medical malpractice or the drug injury cases.
Okay, that's great to know. Thank you.
And can you tell us or explain how adjusters use medical records to reduce settlements? Is that a thing? Is it common?
Yeah, definitely. The insurance adjusters are going to use your medical records to evaluate your claim. So you need to expect that your medical records will be seen by the adjuster. And you need to expect that whatever you tell the doctor is going to be put down by the doctor in your medical chart. So you really don't want to tell the doctor anything that you don't want to see in your chart. You just want to you want to know ahead of time that whatever you tell the doctor is going to be seen by the adjusters to evaluate your injury and compensate you for it.
Okay. And do I need a personal injury attorney if I have insurance? Or should I, even if I have insurance, should I seek one if I have some injuries from an accident, like a car accident?
Well, the short answer is yes. You should always go in for that free consultation with the attorney, even if you have insurance and you think they're going to cover it. A lot of people don't understand that if you have an injury, your own insurance company is not going to go to bat for you and try to settle your injury claim with the at-fault party's insurance company. A lot of people think, have that misconception. But your own insurance company is only going to be out to recover for what they've paid out on your claim under your own coverages. Like if they pay for your property damage for your vehicle that got in a collision, then they're going to make a claim with the other insurance company to get that back. If they paid some of the medical bills under your medical payments coverage, they cannot go to the other insurance company to get that back. They can only tag along and recover it from your settlement if you get a settlement against the party at fault. But they're not going to go to bat for you and try to resolve that claim for you with the at-fault party's insurance company. So you need an attorney.
So let's say I get in a really serious car accident, knock on wood, I don't, but you know, I guess we decide who's at fault. Let's say it's the other side at fault. When should I start seeking medical treatment and not use my insurance? How do I work it so that what's the best way to do this, I guess, when I get in an accident? What are the steps?
Well, the best way to do it is always take the advice from your injury attorney. A lot of injury attorneys, including myself, want to see you get that treatment through medical providers that the attorney can work with. A lot of times we need doctors who can give us reports on specific questions that are important to your case, such as causation of the injury. And we need specific wording that the injury was more likely than not caused by this specific event. And we need doctors that we can contact readily. So we like to refer our clients to doctors. And a lot of those doctors we do refer clients to will take the case without billing the client for any of the treatment. They'll wait to get paid until the case gets resolved.
Gotcha.
And then they're paid out of any settlement or recovery in the case. So that's a big bonus to a lot of people who don't have adequate health insurance coverage, and they really don't want to go for treatment because it's going to cost them copays and deductibles and things like that. Attorneys can help a lot by getting those people to doctors who will wait to get paid.
Okay, so it's probably best if you're in an accident, you know, and once you get out of the accident, to contact an attorney, a personal injury attorney, and maybe contact several and find out which one is going to work best for you. Is that
And the sooner the better.
Okay, great. All right, wonderful.
Sorry, I didn't unmute myself. Can you talk a little bit about the alternatives to litigation? How many cases do you see settled? Do they settle before going to litigation?
Yeah, there are alternatives to a trial. Let's put it that way. A lot of the insurance companies won't agree to mediate a case before a lawsuit. But we are able to negotiate most cases without having to file a lawsuit on them. After treatment is all done, then we're going to evaluate, you know, all the damages involved. Because once it's settled and you sign a release, that's the end of the case. So we want to make sure that we don't negotiate the case until the client has a prognosis of their future medical needs. But we like to propose, it's called ADR, Alternative Dispute Resolution, to adjusters and insurance companies. And that's either mediation or an arbitration to keep it out of court, keep it from going to a trial later on. We have a lot of success on litigated cases in mediation with local mediators who can resolve the case. They get in between and they can figure out, having a neutral involved in the middle, they know more than we do or the defense side does. So they can tell whether there's a number that both sides can get to. So it helps to have mediations before trial. And if, you know, another option in lieu of trial is a binding arbitration procedure. I don't see a whole lot of insurance companies that will agree to that, but it's an option to propose.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. I thought most cases were just settled. Is it settled through mediation or arbitration, or is it settled through the attorney and the insurance company and the client?
Yeah, so with mediation, everything's got to be agreed to by both parties.
Okay.
Whereas with arbitration, the arbitrator's decision is binding.
And can that be enforced through the state bar or through the courts?
The arbitration
Yeah,
or the mediation?
the
Yeah,
binding
both
arbitration.
both of them can.
Okay. Okay, great. Good to know. Okay. So a lot of people ask this question. What is the statute of limitations on a personal injury case? Is it from the date that you're injured or the date that you're treated or the first day you go to see an attorney? Because people wait a long time to actually go to the attorney after they've already spoken to insurance and that kind of thing. So what's the answer for that?
All right, I can only give general responses to that question, but
Yes.
generally, nowadays you have a 2-year statute of limitations to bring a claim for an injury from the date that you were injured. However, if it's a government entity or a government employee that caused the injury, then you're looking at a 6-month claims period. So you need to know who it was that caused the injury and whether they were employed by the government and the course and scope of employment, so that you know what statute what limitation period you're looking at. And medical malpractice, which we don't do here at Kohn Law Office, has a 1-year statute of limitations from the discovery of the negligence and the injury. So it varies, and there are tons of exceptions and limitations and tolling statutes. For example, a minor, someone under 18 years of age actually has until they turn 20 to file a lawsuit in most cases where you're bringing a case against a private entity, not the government, but a private entity.
So you
So
mean the government, like, let's say I slipped in the court and it was due to their negligence of, not fixing a stair, then I would have um this, what is it, the 6-month time?
yes,
Okay.
yes, for
Why is there
sure.
so many different statutes, so many different, it's not the same, or is it just that's the way the law is written?
Yeah, it used to be 1 year, so we're lucky to have 2 years. They did not change or extend anything for the government claims, though, when they changed the 1 year to the 2 years for everybody else. Which I can't remember how long ago that was. I think it was about 10 years ago or so. It
Oh,
used to be 1 year, so you had a pretty narrow time window before, and a lot of attorneys would get stressed out, worrying about it because you would malpractice if you didn't file the lawsuit within the 1-year statute.
so the moral of the story is contact an attorney right away and get your case moving if you have some injuries or some negligence and that kind of thing.
That's good advice.
Okay, great.
All right. And can you tell us what would happen if I have an accident outside of the state of California or out of the country? Who has jurisdiction at that point? Or can an attorney if I live in California or in San Diego, can I contact an attorney here?
My opinion is yes. Now, there's other attorneys that might disagree with me because the question is, if you're not licensed in the other state or country, if you're not licensed to practice law, some attorneys would say that you're illegally practicing law by handling that case, and that the person should hire an attorney in that jurisdiction or state. I believe that, it's my opinion, is correct,
Uh-huh.
by the way, is that an attorney locally can handle that for his client with an insurance company before a lawsuit is necessary. If it can be resolved through negotiation without a lawsuit, I don't think it's illegally practicing law, even if you're not licensed in that jurisdiction.
Okay. And I'm going to ask one final question. What is the benefit of hiring an attorney, a personal injury attorney, if I have some injuries? Can I do it on my own? What's the benefit of that?
Of hiring the
An
attorney when?
attorney. An attorney if I have a personal injury case. Um,
Benefit?
some people may try to do it on their own. What good advice do you have of why you should hire an attorney to handle that?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. And the best part
Okay.
about hiring the attorney is that anyone can afford a personal injury attorney, because the personal injury attorney will only take a percentage of any recovery as a fee. And if there is no recovery, then there is no attorney fee. So everybody gets treated the same way. Usually, in my practice, it's going to be a 1/3 attorney fee. If it goes into a litigation, then the fee goes up, usually to 40%. Some attorneys will charge less, like 25%. Some will charge more, like 50%.
Yeah.
But the general rule you can expect is usually a 1/3 attorney fee, at least for pre-litigation.
Okay.
And that's the benefit to it. The attorney can negotiate better. They could resolve the case for more money. The biggest part of the case is for something called pain and suffering damages. Now they call it non-economic damages. And that's the part that the attorney knows most about and can maximize. They need to do that too, because attorney's fees usually cannot be claimed as damages. So each side pays their own attorney's fees.
Gotcha.
But the injured party's attorney's fees will only come out of any recovery in the case. And if it doesn't work out and the case goes south for some reason, the client ends up owing no attorney fee.
Oh, that's good to know. So if someone contacts you, we refer you to the lawyer referral service. They're going to get a free consultation up to 30 minutes. And then that's when you'll decide whether or not, you can take the case, or if the client wants to retain you and ask all the questions they need. And they don't have to come up with any money up front. It's all based on the settlement, it sounds like.
Correct. And
And it does go,
that 30 minutes is negotiable.
right.
If
We just say,
most attorneys will spend more than 30 minutes with the client, because it does take some time to understand everything and to tell the client everything they need to know. So I spend as much time as the client needs.
okay, great. And if it does go to litigation, it does cost a little bit more because it's expensive for your services to go to court and that kind of thing. So a lot of people don't understand that you do have to pay the attorney. Not all of your settlement is just for you. Some is for medical bills or to pay whatever the doctors. Some goes to pay you and the rest goes to the client. Correct?
But the doctors need to get paid, and
Yep.
lately we spend a lot of time now. We didn't do this 30, 40 years ago, but now we spend a lot of our time negotiating with lien holders on recoveries for our clients. Most healthcare insurance companies now have their right of reimbursement from any recovery that the injured party gets. So we spend a lot of time negotiating with the health insurance companies, or have liens on cases, or any other medical providers that might have liens on cases. So that's a whole different ball of wax.
And that's a good reason to hire an attorney because nobody
You
wants
also have to
do that.
understand that a lot of people who are over 65 have Medicare, and Medicare has to get paid back, and it's not an easy thing to do without an attorney.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, unfortunately, in this day and age, have Medi-Cal, and you have to negotiate with Medi-Cal too, because they want reimbursement from any recovery in the case.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for this great information. Liz,
Yeah,
turn
thank
it
you.
over to you.
Thank you so much for doing this, for answering our questions, and also obviously for being a great attorney on lawyer referral service on our personal injury panel. We really appreciate you being part of the service. Anyone out there that is looking for an attorney, you can contact the Bar Association's lawyer referral Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You can call and still speak to a live representative. We'll listen to what your case is about, and we'll refer you to an attorney for that up to 30-minute consultation. So again, thank you so much, Mr. Kohn, for doing this for us, and I hope you have a great day.
Well, thank
Yeah, and also we
you.
have 24/7 referrals. If we're closed or on the weekends, you can go to our website and get a referral during that time too. So we're 24/7 now.
Well, thanks for having me. I've enjoyed it. And I should mention that I've been in my own practice for 30 years, and I believe I've been a member of the lawyer referral service
For a
ever
long
since
time.
I started out on my own 30 years ago.
Correct. Correct. Well, we thank you for that.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.